Next will be presentations. This will be a public safety report by the of the Yuba City Fire Department, presented by Chief Pete Daly. Chief.
How about now? There we go. Okay, good evening, Mayor Buckland and members of the City Council. I'm before you tonight, as I come a minimum every 6 months to talk to you about kind of the status of the fire department. So I brought some support with me tonight, so hopefully they'll keep me in check. There we go. Thank you. So usually when I come and talk to you, I talk about things like what's our square mileage that we protect, how many people we protect. I talk about community service A. I'm not going to talk about that tonight. I also come and talk to you about response times, because you like to hear my response times and what kind of calls we go on and how many structure fires. Well, I'm not going to talk about that tonight either. So what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to specifically talk about, or actually what we're going to do is we're going to talk tonight about what we've accomplished in the last 6 to 12 months and which direction we're going in the next 6 to 12 months. And with that, I'm going to start off with our Fire Marshal, Jim Matthews.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, and members of our community. I'm Jim Matthews, your Fire Marshal. As your Fire Marshal, I'm charged with leading our community's fire prevention activities. These activities include public education, code enforcement, and fire investigation. Tonight we'll share some things that we do that fit into all three of those categories. The Fire Code is a unique document in the code world. It contains building construction standards and works hand in hand with all the related building codes. It also contains operational standards, which really are how buildings should be used to stay fire safe. We inspect businesses in our community on a regular basis based on what we feel is appropriate for the risk that the business holds. Currently, most businesses are on a 12 to 18 month cycle. Okay. A few years ago, assembly type occupancies came under scrutiny due to a large fire in Rhode Island at the Station nightclub. 100 people died and 230 were injured. As a result, we decided that we would take a look at our assembly occupancies to make sure they were fire safe. Assembly occupancies are interesting. These are places where 50 or more people gather for drinking, dining, worship, or entertainment. So bars and churches are in the same occupancy category. Our inspection revealed a fairly routine problem of overcrowding in some of these businesses. Digging into the issue and working with our police department, we discovered that a few were changing their maximum occupant load sign after we completed our inspection. They changed it to whatever they felt was appropriate, what they wanted at the time. So to solve this, we created a Yuba City Fire Department Assembly Permit. The permit lists the maximum occupant load of the business, is signed by me, and must be posted in a conspicuous place in the business. This allows fire and law enforcement personnel, as well as the public, the employees of the business, anyone who enters that building, to see in a uniform way exactly what the maximum occupant load of that business is. There are a lot of things that go into inspecting these types of occupancies, but the main thing is education. We want our businesses to understand their building and its operation. We want them to understand the different types of built-in fire protection, whether it's fire sprinklers, fire alarms, the firewalls, the fire doors, etc., and what it takes to keep their customers and their employees safe. This program has been extremely effective, and it continues to move forward. We're in the middle of enhancing our school inspection program, both public and private, and we'll talk about that in a few minutes. After we get that program working well, we're going to take a look at what the next focus is going to be for us. Our motto is enforcement through education. While punitive action is always available, we prefer to educate, and enforce only as a last resort. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Jesse Frias, Fire Inspector with the Yuba City Fire Department. So, good evening to you all, and thank you for this opportunity. As Jim mentioned, one of our functions is inspection, business, and schools. We take a great passion in the schools because it's our children, and we decide every year that we need to ramp it up, do something a little bit better. So this year, with the help of a lot of our members, we've developed a prevention program to take forward to the schools, as well as meeting with the school cabinet. And in that program, we've identified some areas: risk reduction while increasing fire and life safety, increasing partnership with the Unified School District, performing program reform by way of utilizing our resources. So I'd like to touch upon each one of those real quickly. Our inspections are conducted annually at the schools. We have approximately 20 plus schools, and we have a duty to report the findings to the school administrator, as well as help them resolve the issues and guide them. Jim made a mention earlier about the violations, or the term violations. We like to say correctable events. Violations is very, very harsh, and it's something that I think with educating the schools, we can do that. The increasing partnership with the Unified School District came about this Monday. We've spent some time identifying the trends out there in the school, what we're finding, and we've decided that we need to meet with them, solidify the partnership once again. We've always had a great relationship with the school administrations, and we sat down on Monday of this week and talked to them about our findings, and came and provided them with our program. And in our program are areas where they can improve and how they can improve. The program reform by way of utilizing resources, we not only take the opportunity to utilize our internal resources, but external, our children in our schools. They're a resource for us. We educate the administrators, the principals, the school teachers, the entire staff, but the children are going to take this home to their homes, where they're going to practice fire safe measures, and that's really where the investment's going to be. These are some of the items that we have found this year. And in this picture, there's 3 circles. It's kind of hard to see from there, but it's overheating of electrical wires. They can cause electrical shorts. In this particular picture, the cover's not placed on it, and the wiring is, the wiring is a little charred and probably not put together right. So these are things that I would say the trained eye is trained to look for. I mean, we probably have this in our homes. We just need to look, but this is something that we're finding. The next slide. Overheated, overloaded extension cords. Right here, you'll see a prong that's broke off of this extension cord. This was found. Here, you'll see the charring and overheating of this cord. This one caught our attention. The schools that have a lab department, or have a lab, they're supposed to report all the chemicals and have a listing of them. This was interesting because of the corrosion on the lock. It looked like the off-gassing of the chemical, and it's in a room that students maybe have access to. So this was something that we brought to their attention as well. Thank you. Thank you very much.
So I'm going to talk real quick about grants and facilities, because that's something else we're working on right now. So and we're on grants. We've been very successful on grants. Bill Fuller, our admin analyst, has done a great job on acquiring many grants for us. So this year we were able to get the Department of Water Resources grant. We were fully funded on that. We're one of the few organizations that applied for it in California that got full funding, and that was to upgrade our communication system at our Emergency Operations Center at Fire Station 4, which is our EOC in case during times of disasters like flooding and fires and earthquakes and things like that. So we were able to do a lot of telecommunication upgrades, which was very beneficial for us. Also, we were successful with a Homeland Security grant for $45,000 for thermal imaging cameras. These are thermal imaging cameras. Ours were 10 years old. We would have had to come to the city council and ask for that money to replace those. We were able to get a grant, and they were fully funded. And we were able to get 5 of those for $45,000. Assistance to firefighter grant, that's pending right now. We're waiting for that, but that'll be coming in. For that one, we got $53,000 for 2 extrication equipment packages. What that is that's the jaws of life. And so everyone's usually familiar with that. Johnny and Roy on emergency when you're a kid, all that stuff. And but those are becoming more challenging for us because as they build cars better and better, and more, they're more challenging for us to cut into. And then we also got another Homeland Security grant for another extrication equipment, and we'll be getting that as well. We need 5 sets because we have 5 fire stations, 5 fire engines that roll. Right now, we currently have 3. We're asking for 3 more for the other 2 engines, and also a spare to go on a reserve engine. We also were successful in achieving the SAFER grant, and they're going to talk about that in a minute as far as the hiring and promotional. The SAFER grant, we were able to obtain $1.5 million, and that allows us to hire 9 full-time firefighters on a limited term for 2 years. It'll cover all their salaries and benefits and help improve our staffing. Yes, I had to take this picture. There's a story behind this. So, and I'm on a time frame because I bet someone lunch I wouldn't take too long. But long story short, the previous fire chief's a Green Bay fan, and they make the fire engines back there, so we had to take him for a test drive, and we just ended up in the parking lot and took a picture. And I sent it to him. So, the last thing for me, facilities. We're currently working on our fire station 2. We did some ADA access barrier improvement. This is actually an older picture, but actually that tree is gone, and there's actually ADA parking in the front of that station now. We did that in 2014 for $53,000. This last year, we did site improvements in the back. We had to replace all the concrete because it was 30 years old and put new concrete in because those engines are heavy, driving around back all the time. Security fencing and also ADA improvements. And so that's what we've been working on as far as facilities this last year.
Quick question on that station. I know there's a lot of weeds growing out front. Are we going to be putting turf in there to replace that, or something that's drought resistant in the front there?
Absolutely. We just finished the construction part. The last part of this now is our landscaping part, which is drought tolerant landscaping. And we have money as part of that, $300,000 to do all the landscaping. So absolutely. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Battalion Chief Eric Parker with the Yuba City Fire Department. One of my tasks I have been charged with is adding new technology to our department. This new technology will make our department more effective and more efficient. The first software upgrade is web-based Firehouse. This will enhance our current server-based Firehouse system. The web-based Firehouse will allow our captains to do incident or inspection reports in the field. It will also keep building and occupancy information up to date and ready to use. It'll keep building and occupancy information up to date and ready to use on incident whenever we need it. It will also contain pre-fire plans of local buildings. This will allow us to obtain information on such items as the location of alarm panels, utilities, sprinkler systems, and any hazardous materials, and that will be instantly accessible by the fire captain or battalion chief on our rigs. The next technological upgrade is Telestaff. Telestaff gives us an automated staffing. It notifies our staff of any vacancies or open positions that they can sign up for on their smartphones. This program conforms to our local policy and procedures as well as state and federal law. This will free our battalion chiefs and administrative assistant to do other tasks. And this will also automate our payroll too, to make it more efficient.
Good evening. My name is Jay Bushrow, Battalion Chief. I'm also a new guy, so I guess it's kind of appropriate that I'm going to be talking about promotions and recruitments. I'm really honored to have the opportunity to work in the city. I bring 25 years of full-time paid fire experience to the organization. I'm currently responsible for emergency medical services and the tactical EMS squad that works in conjunction with police department and the hazardous materials team. And I'm B shift. We have 3 shifts that work in our organization, and I'm responsible for the B shift or one of those shifts as well. So we are currently, next slide, or is this that? Okay, there you go, nice. This is the largest hiring in Yuba City Fire Department's history. And we do take a moment to recognize and acknowledge the experience and expertise that has left the organization. These departures have created the vacancies and it's city family members. But these types of departures in this large of a number can do two things. It does impact 50% of our shift personnel, but it can do one of two things. It can either be a negative change, significant negative organizational change, or significant organizational opportunity. And I think that many of us, including the fire management, agree that it's probably the latter. It's an opportunity. The Fire Academy that we're going to be hiring approximately 15 personnel. And the Fire Academy, or the in-service training that we provide the new employees, is going to be the most extensive that we've done in our history as well. Again, another opportunity. This training is going to parallel the state fire training, and that provides for interoperability. It also provides for standardization, so we can go throughout the state during mutual aid and wildland fire season and things, and work with our neighbors in Marysville and Sutter County. So it's standardized training that we're going to be providing, and we'll talk more about that shortly. Some of the hiring that we've done is including me. I'm one of the new battalion chiefs. So one came from the outside, and we promoted one from within. So Chief Stoddard was a captain here for many years and has been promoted. Filling those vacancies behind these promotions are 3 new fire captains, and they're 3 internal employees. 4 fire apparatus operators or fire engineers have been promoted behind them. 2 of them are from within, and 2 of them from outside. The SAFER grant the chief spoke about includes up to 15 new personnel. 2 of these, there's a couple of points about this SAFER grant that is temporary. So it gives the organization time to see if they're a proper fit. Not only the 2-year training that we talked about related to getting a new employee up to speed, but that 2 years is also a review time that we can use to make sure they're fit to serve the organization the way fire management's direction is taking them. The 3 full-time positions, 3 to 4 full-time positions are being backfilled due to vacancies. 2 of them were previously interns with the organization, and most have prior fire experience. And so it's a great opportunity. In all, we have 7 promotions and between 14 and 15 new personnel joining the organization. So like I said, 50% of our organization. So this hiring event is a great opportunity to right-size the organization and position ourselves to meet the expectations as well as the needs of the community. And we're all excited about that. Thank you.
Let you handle the technical difficulties. Welcome. Thank you for having me here tonight. Good evening. My name is Robert Stoddard. As Chief Bushrow pointed out, I came from the line. I've spent 34 years in the fire service here in the local community, last 15 of which I've been with the Yuba City Fire Department as a captain and promoted this past December to battalion chief. Next slide. Thank you. As BC Bushrow pointed out, I'm going to talk to you about the Fire Recruit Academy. BC Bushrow pointed out this is going to be the longest and most extensive academy that the city fire department has put on in its history. The purpose of the academy is to build is one, obviously, to teach them the Yuba City way. The other is to build a foundation that the recruit can build upon to build his own career in the fire service. The academy is a total of 7 weeks long, 5 days a week. In that 7-week program, 6 weeks of it is fire training. It will be, that fire training will include fire suppression, which will include at least 2 days of live fire training, which will be conducted at the Yuba College Fire Training Center. Also included in the training will be emergency medical services, extrication and disentanglement training, prevention training. These are just a few of the wide variety of topics that we'll be teaching during the academy. 1 week will be spent on employee development. training. What this does is it allows the employee to understand what the city is, what it's about, how it works, and then teaches them to work with fellow employees, supervisors, and administration. And then a big one is customer service. Not only internal, but external customer service. How to perform it and how to do it appropriately. Next. Oh, I'm sorry. Back one. I'm sorry. Basically, the academy not only is all the personnel of the fire department involved in this academy, we have all our internal instructors, but every engine company will rotate on a daily basis to perform training during the day with the recruits, but also helping us as other departments within the city. One being human resources. They're doing the new employee orientation as well as the new employee paperwork that needs to be done. The second group is community services. They're helping us with transportation of the firefighters from training facilities such as the college. They're helping us also because logistically, to do live fire training requires a huge amount of equipment that needs to be transported out there as well. The college basically gives us the facility to use, but we got to bring our own equipment, SCBAs, tools, engines, hoses. So community service is also helping us out with the transportation of that equipment. And the third group that's been helping us is Public Works. And the biggest thing they're helping us with is not all of our training sites do we have the facilities for personal hygiene. So they're bringing us porta potties and transporting them to the training facility, and that would include Yuba College, and as well as and then taking them in and taking care of the disposal. Now, next slide. Thanks. Here you see a night drill going on. This is a typical night drill that we conduct throughout the year at our department. This recent night drill was ladders. These are the trainings that these new firefighters will be included on. Not only will they be included on this, but once a week they will be part of an engine company in the city and will respond as a crew member. Okay, and that's to help them learn the process, learn the crews, the equipment, and the demographics of the city. And at the end of the academy, the training doesn't stop. Again, we're trying to progress them in their careers, so we're continuing to work at their firefighter 1, firefighter 2, and hopefully on to fire officer, chief officer, and so forth. But at the end of the academy, they'll be able to help as a crew member on the small and large incidents both. Thank you. Chief Parker.
This academy is going to help prepare our troops for fires like this. This is a fire we had on February 11th at 10:30 at night on 2nd Street. This went 3 alarms. We had the laser on this. We had heavy fire involvement in this apartment when we arrived. Fortunately, the occupants got out of the building in time. This is a 2-story, what we call a taxpayer, which is a business that's down below and apartments above. And it's a non-reinforced masonry building that was built in 1910. Our crews found heavy fire in this apartment, and it was extending into the attic and going straight across. 4 apartments were impacted. 1 was burned severely. The rest had ceiling and attic damage. The fire displaced 7 occupants, but our local American Red Cross was able to give them shelter that night. We have damage estimates in about $250,000, and that's to the building itself and not the contents. There was 1 business affected and a vacant business underneath. This was a 3-alarm fire in which 25 firefighters on 9 engines and 1 truck from 3 local agencies. Those agencies that helped us were Marysville, Sutter County, and Linda. And then we also had help with our off-duty crews. Gridley, Wheatland also assisted with station coverage and running other calls while we were on this call. The guys did a fantastic job in keeping this fire. This could have been a very large fire, and we contained it just to this building right up here. And that's what we're training our guys for.
Thank you for having me back again. I'd like to talk about the fire investigation process. Much like a crime scene, we have a period of time to develop and collect information, utilize that information to determine origin and cause. With this fire, we were able to keep it intact, keep it to the room of origin, which was upstairs apartment, and quickly identified that it was not criminal intent. However, the situation of this fire, there was too many multiple areas of possibility that this fire was determined undetermined because of just the circumstances involved in what was burned, the fuel load. We were unable to positively identify a specific item or situation that caused this fire. But the quick attack and the internal customer service approach of our city helped in this process. We were able to collaborate with Public Works, the building department the next day, responded quickly to our needs, and we were able to provide the scene safe and do a due diligence, for the fire investigation of this fire. There were 2 occupants home at the time that were safely exited this building, so there was no injury. So that's always great. But in our obligation to report the findings, it's a process that it all plays part in the scene management and how the fire is extinguished. So the crews did a great job. And I also like to take just a minute to recognize Guy Smith. He was an instrumental component of our prevention program with the schools. So I just like to take that opportunity to, Guy, well, thank you.
Guy Smith is one of our retired engineers who's been helping us out, so he's been doing a great job. So what does this all mean? So I'm going to wrap it up real quick because I'm over my time and I think I owe a lunch. So what does this all mean? Well, we always try and tie it back to what the city's mission statement is. So for us, we talk about quality, service, innovation, and leadership. Well, for us, the quality part that you've seen today is our public education program that we're putting forward. It's our code enforcement that we're doing. We're trying to provide a quality service. For innovation, we're working on grants. We're working on our record management systems. They talked about telestaff that we're trying to put in place to save some of our managers time for staffing so they don't have to do staffing all day long. Communication upgrades our emergency operations center. So that's where we're employing some of our innovation. And for leadership, a very important concept for us is we're working hard on recruitments, promotion, training, and professional development. So that's what we've been working on. But for us, this is what it means, okay? This is what quality, innovation, and leadership mean to the Yuba City Fire Department, because it's all fine and dandy until you actually apply it. And for us, it's about helping people in the community, and when something bad happens, make it better. And so this is a good example of having good quality training, good innovation, and a good leadership and a good team to be able to take care of people when they're in need. So where are we going next? I'm down on my last slide here, 1 or 2 slides. Where are we going next? Well, the Fire Recruit Academy, you heard about that, so that's going to be busy for us in our 2-year training program. Once these people come out of the academy and get assigned to shifts, that we'll be training them for 2 years. Emergency preparedness training, the fire department's responsible for emergency preparedness and training for the city. So we have plans to provide training to all of our city members. Emergency notification upgrades, we're making systems better to where we can contact you during times of emergency on your home phone or on your cell phone to give you updates on floods and that type of stuff. We're looking at updating that. We need to do a strategic plan for the Yuba City Fire Department. The last one we did was about 10 years ago. We need to tackle that again and do a strategic plan. So that's one of my personal goals as fire chief. ISO analysis, Insurance Services Office, who rates fire departments, they'll be coming in April. So we'll be doing that. We're going to be looking at a new fire engine soon. And we're going to be looking at what we call an air light and hazmat unit. We're looking at a unit to buy that can do 3 jobs. Right now we have 3 older units. They need to be replaced, but we don't want to replace them. We want to buy 1 unit that can do all 3 of those jobs. Leader and professional development is important to us, and succession planning will be continuing with those as well. So that's what we're going to be doing for the next 6 to 12 months. And at this time, I'll be happy to take any questions from the council.
Opening up to questions of the fire chief or his staff.
Through the mayor.
Go ahead.
Couple quick questions. Bill Fuller has been very successful at getting grants for us. Do we have someone that is learning what he does so that when he's no longer with us, that we have someone that will fill his shoes? You talked about succession planning, so.
Actually, he's tied up in his office right now, and we don't let him loose very often because after 35 years, he's pretty good at it. Yeah, actually, we are. Diane Wright has an interest, our admin assistant, and she's shown interest. So Bill's been working with her on how he does his grants and what makes him successful.
Good. And then secondly, on mentioned working with the schools. Do the schools do regular fire drills?
Yes, they do. They're required to.
Yeah, we've got to get you on the video.
Yes, sir, they do. They're required to conduct a fire alarm drill. The different levels. The lower grades, once a month. High school level, twice a year.
Have we ever thought about interacting? I know you have the firehouse that has the smoke and so on, that in some of the, say the high school or possibly the junior high, introducing smoke into the hallways or something to make it more realistic and teach them how to get out of a burning building?
We've talked about several opportunities and areas that we can increase the training for the individual students and schools. However, it's a challenge with administration and planning at times. So this is a work in progress always. But we've talked up something similar to that. But that's actually a good idea. I would like to do that, but we have to be cognizant of their schedule as well.
Sure.
And not be, intrusive, I guess. But we try to take the opportunity every chance we get to introduce something new and kind of go with it. But we've talked about many things. The challenge with that is just the planning of the school day, the logistics of it. So.
Well, I know that we do the every 15 minutes program once a year, that maybe once a year we have a more intense fire drill. Because the reality is, if there truly was a fire, just walking out of your building is not the way it's going to be done. So,
on occasion, we do a unpronounced fire alarm drill at the school. We'll go and say, okay, pull the pull station, and then we go and evaluate how they're exiting, how long it takes. Do they have the proper, paperwork with them to identify the students? There's things in place that we do kind of gauge that with.
Okay. Just trying to make it more realistic rather than just something that, as I remember as a child, just walking out or ducking under the desk and that type of thing. So.
Yes, complacency kills. You're absolutely right.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Any other comments from council? Chief, thank you very much for the presentation tonight. Certainly to the members of your staff for the professionalism that they display every day. And I know that within our jurisdiction, that the education component that the fire department provides for businesses and for the schools is paramount to ongoing safety. And you certainly lead that in that direction. And again, I thank you and your staff for
Thank you very much. I'd like to thank the fire management staff because, as you can imagine, it's easy to get these guys to fight fire, but getting them to come talk in front of a group, that's a whole nother story. So they did a great job. Thank you very much.
I have seen them act as clowns at times. It appears we have a mass exodus now. They all need to go back to work, so.